All right. Well, welcome back to Post Frame 360 with your host, Scott Cragg, and
your co-host, Josh Nolan.
Josh Nolan. Yeah. So, hey, if you're watching online, you can maybe like, wait a second, they're still wearing the same clothes. We are. I turned my hat around backwards just to give you a little diversity here. But yeah, so we ended the last one we made that a part one. So this is going to be part two of business planning 2026. And Josh and I both looked at our calendar and said, you know what, let's do this now because we're in the groove. So we're coming right off of recording the last one and jumping into this. So, the way you ended that, Josh, is we talked a lot about 2025. We didn't talk about 2026. So what are your thoughts from your perspective as director of sales? What are you looking at for 2026?
I'm really looking at challenging our sales team, and some of our clients may have already started to feel it or sense it, I should say, that really challenge our team to stay focused on what they have. Basically, just making sure the relationships are really strong with the clients that they've been working with for in some cases, several years. Um, Making sure that we're listening and paying attention, and that we're there for our clients. That's one major goal of mine. The other another one is just and this is directly related to you and your team, Scott, is making sure our customers feel appreciated when they call in. They're getting the phone answered, or getting a call back in a reasonable amount of time. And just I want our clients to understand that, we don't just say we offer good service or good customer service. We want to prove it. We want the proof to be in the pudding. And I was earlier today, I had gotten a lead for a client in Texas, and he actually heard about us from another client that, in an adjacent territory, said, hey, look, you need to call these guys. They help me grow my business, and they'll help you grow yours. We didn't ask him to do that. That wasn't a paid testimonial. I mean, I was shocked, like, wow, that means we're doing the right things. And we need to continue to be focused on that.
Yeah. So I think this is a good opportunity for our listeners to kind of get, kind of feel that. So one thing you just said is you're going to be pushing on your sales team, to focus more on the customer. And then you said, as it relates to my team, some of those things like how we want our customers to know that they're valued, and we want them to receive the best possible customer service. You and I talked about phones, and I'm talking about this because these are some things that you might be dealing with in your own company. Our phone system, it's something that we've had for a while. It's internet based, and they don't have the greatest customer service. You can't have someone come out and look at your phone system. I don't even know where they're located. They do everything remote. So one of the things that in my role, right, customer service, customers have complained, we're not getting answered. We don't hear anything back. It's like, man, I know my team. My team, like I'm on the floor with them, right? I chose never to have an office. I'm on the floor with my team so that I can do what I can to support them and our customers, not to micromanage. I want to know what's going on. I want to get to know our customers. I want to get to know my team. And so within them, I'm like, man, that doesn't line up, right? So what I'm telling you is if you hear something in your company, you're like, man, something doesn't add up. My customer says that my front desk coordinator, Jamie, never returns their calls. Man, I know Jamie. So that's like a whoo, whoo, whoo. Let me dig into some of these things that I heard about in 2025 and see what I can do in 2026. So yeah, our phone system isn't the greatest, right? So I dug into that, and it's like, okay, we're gonna have to do something else, right? So we're in the process of deciding what are we going to do from another phone system. However, there was a 3-year contract signed. So as much as I want to change phone systems, I contractually can't until October of 2026, or I just have to pay the remainder of that contract off, right? So that's like a real life business thing where I want to do better, but I didn't know what I didn't know. And in order for me to get a better service, I'm going to be out the remainder of the contract plus a new monthly bill. So I hope that's like an insight into like, this is real life business. These are some
Hmm.
of those things you have to manage, and so how do I do that better? And so that's one of the things that we're working through, and it's not that the customer service team can't return phone calls. It's we do have a technology issue that is creating a bit of a challenge. We also have that with our order entry process, and we're right in the middle of a 14-month upgrade of our system that quite honestly became outdated in, 20 what was it, 2015, 2014 was the last time an update was even available. So we're working against systems that haven't grown with the company. So maybe you find yourself in that same boat, right? Maybe maybe 2025 was a great year for you and your infrastructure was holding you back, you know, or maybe 2025 wasn't that great and some fractures in your organization started to show themselves. So what are you going to do about it? So,
Hmm.
Josh, I hope that's fair. But when you
Yeah.
said that, it just really made me think about this is infrastructure stuff, right?
That's great. No, you brought up real life concerns and issues, and the things that we're battling all the
Mhm.
time. And so, yeah, I mean, it's some decisions do have to be made on our phone lines, and how are we gonna get to that point potentially without waiting another 10 months.
Sure, sure.
And then um, you brought up our ERP upgrade, and that's a big deal. That is a
Yeah.
huge
Mhm.
project that we're all working on internally. I mean, we're having weekly meetings. Um, we're learning. We're having to watch educational videos on how to use the system.
Mhm.
We're playing with new tools. But once this thing is completed, it's going to be a game changer. And also, it helps with we've been talking about communication and getting field firsthand field knowledge from our outside sales reps
Mhm.
and inside sales reps entering our information in like a CRM basically, and being able to share information to better serve our clients, right?
Mhm. Right.
And that's our that's our goal. Or we're also working on our CRM HubSpot to make
Mhm.
sure that we have our clients are getting called back, and we're touching base with those on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So we do have a lot going on.
Mhm.
Those are all infrastructure things. That's not counting equipment upgrades that we're making um, through our capex programs. Or new saws. I
Mhm.
think we ordered a new saw for our truss line,
Yeah.
and we're looking at ordering a soffit machine. So
Mhm.
there's just a lot of things that we're doing. Put storm shelters in for our employees.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's actual physical maintenance going on
Mhm.
all the
Mhm.
time. Every time I come to visit, every couple of months, there's new stuff that I enjoy seeing. Safety from a safety perspective, and
Right.
um, just
Yeah.
it's crazy how many things are going on that our customers have no idea.
Mhm. Right. And that's something else, something you said, and for our listeners, maybe our listeners know, maybe they don't, but get some clarification. You said CapEx, capital expenditures, right? So this is something else that you should consider. And here's what I would say. If you don't have an accountant, please find one. Please find an accountant. I've mentioned my accountant, Hightower Accounting. They have an office in Broken Arrow and one in Wagner. I've used them for my personal business taxes and my personal taxes. They're great, right? Find a good accountant. Talk to them about your business. Let them do an evaluation for you. Capital expenditures are a huge opportunity for you to address critical infrastructure for your business and have it as a tax benefit, right? Because ultimately, when you think about your infrastructure, you need to always be thinking about scalability, right? That's why I don't really like to sign any contracts longer than a year. Even in my own business, I don't want a contract unless there is a really, really good reason to. I really don't like to do anything that locks me into something longer than a year because business can look entirely different from one year to the next, right? And so, you know, push back a little bit on some of these things. You're a business owner and you are maybe reaching out to the services of another business owner. They're going to push on you. Don't be afraid to push back. Try to keep everything within a 1 year timeline. I do not like going beyond 1 year because I've got to think about scalability
Hmm.
of my infrastructure. So maybe that's something you can do in your planning for 2026 was what was one of your biggest holdbacks in 2025? Let's say maybe you got raked over the coals by a subcontractor, or maybe you lost jobs because your contractor was just too busy to get to you. And I know Josh and I talked about this in previous podcasts. If you have the means and the will and the knowledge to maybe do some of your own site prep, well, maybe you should assess 2025 and see how much money you spent. Could you do a capital expenditure and buy your own skid steer? Right? Like, is that something that you could make money off of? Is that a dual purpose, a tax benefit, but an income maker? So those are kind of some of those things that I'm talking about when you think about planning for 2026. That's one of the things we're doing, right? Like, what can we do in 2026 to be better in a still an unstable future of business? Well, we're trying to be as lean as we can, right? We're really careful about what we're purchasing. We are making capital expenditures into things that make us more efficient. And then our internal systems, because one of those things for us is it's kind of like we've reached this critical mass that if we don't invest some money, we cannot grow at all. Because right now, wow, that just came out Southern. Um, right now, we are doing more spec orders, right? Because we have more customers, and as our customers, as our contractor demands have changed more to that barn dominium market or that higher end shop, man cave, commercial type aspect, there's more things needed that we can provide. Well, special orders, and if you don't, I won't dive too deep into this, but guys, a special order is not as simple as saying special order, right? You tell me what you want, then I've got to find it, then I've got to get a quote from the supplier, then I've got to send a PO to order it, then we got to decide how we're going to go get it. Are they going to ship it to me? Or are they going to ship it to the job site? If it comes to me, I got to have a way to receive it and then make sure it gets with your order to get to your job site. If I ship it to your job site, I got to make sure that the truck that they ship it on can get there and there's someone to receive it. Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
there's
there's
like
a lot.
so much, right? But right now, all of that's
Hmm.
manual, right? Like I've got people, there's probably 6 people involved in that process, and it's really, really vulnerable
Hmm.
to misses. So a new system is going to automate that, right? Returns, that's another one. Right now, everything that we do at Burrows right now is so manual. It is so people based, and it requires um just requires a lot of people to be involved, and we're not wanting anyone to lose their job, right? But it creates so many opportunities for human error because the system is clunky.
Hmm.
So by bringing our systems up to a place where technology can help us, so now the technology is communicating. The technology says, "Oh, John Smith is special ordered 2 8x8 cedar columns on PO number 11111. Oh, hey, a truck came in and someone received a PO number 1111. Oh, that goes to John Smith." Bloop. And then it says to our customer service representative who sent it, "Hey, your PO for 11111 just arrived and is ready to be loaded for John Smith's delivery." Whereas right now we rely on people to do all that in something that can get missed. So, um, not to get too into the weeds, but I hope again, I'm trying to share with you, these are the real life things that we deal with. Not to say that you don't, but man, a lot of you guys, a lot of you, you're the business owner, you're the salesman, you're the worker in the field, you're going to look at jobs, you're finding materials, you're managing subs, like you got a lot of things going on. So assess.
That's
Go back and look at 2025 and maybe even
mhm.
go back and look at 2024, get some historical data, and then plot a plan forward for 2026.
Can we talk about some, some of our, from a sales perspective, some of the things that we have, that we're looking forward to for 2026 that
Let's
maybe
do
our
it.
clients can use to their advantage?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, we've introduced this 3D visualizer tool,
Mhm,
3d.burrows-supply.com.
mhm.
You can also get to it through our website. Our homepage has a demo video.
Yep.
And then under the Smart Build page, Um, you can watch another video that's geared more towards our builders and everything. So, but that tool, I mean, I'm starting to see the power of it already.
Mhm,
We've only promoted it. We sent out one customer e-blast. I've posted on Facebook one time and
mhm,
Instagram one time, and it's on our website, as I mentioned. We are continually getting leads in. Like, I would say we're not even promoting it, and we're getting probably a half dozen a week.
mhm,
And that's a really cool 3D tool. And Burrow's made a big investment into that
mhm,
as a distributor, so to speak, for this 3D tool.
mhm.
And so that our customers can then tag on to tag onto it with their own custom tool at a very, very small price. And, it was a big investment. And so but it is a lead generating tool.
Mhm.
So there are other tools out there. In fact, I was talking to one of our clients the other day who had their own 3D tool. I don't even know where they got it, but somewhere other than us. And it was on their website. And it was kind of neat.
Mhm.
But the problem is when they get a lead, it's a name and a phone number, whatever. But then they'd have to go into their smart build account and draw up that building in order to get the client a quote.
Right.
What's really cool about ours is it's a plug-in to smart build. So if our client is a smart build user already and they have this 3D visualizer, they promote it with their custom URL,
Mhm.
and the leads just keep coming in. And when they come in, they go directly dump right into their smart build. So now all they have to do is open it and then send the customer a quote.
Right.
Um,
So something you said there, I wanna kinda pick at that a little bit. You said leads.
mhm,
Explain to our listener what that means whenever you said that we've only promoted a little bit, but that we're getting leads. Is
mhm.
that other contractors, or what are those leads? Help our listeners understand that.
So this tool is a very um, homeowner based tool.
Mhm.
So when we get a lead, now not always, right? Because we have our everything we do is to market to our builder clients. So,
Yes.
if they get to our website and they see the tool, they play with it, da da da. So we've had some of both. But
Mhm.
when a homeowner comes through, I'll give you an example of one that came through just the other day. I reviewed it. I looked at what it was. I saw where the user was located,
Mhm.
and then I was like, okay, I've got a good a builder here that buys from Burrows. They're a good account. They're right
Mhm.
here in that within 60 miles. And
Mhm.
I just would send that lead directly to them
Yeah.
so that they can go off and hopefully sell that building. So um, just to be clear, we're not in the business to sell to homeowners, to end users. That's our client's client.
Yep.
And so we can't avoid that, though. You can't avoid the homeowners. We can't avoid them because, everything's so web based these days, everything's so social media focused.
Mhm.
People are going to stumble on us. And when they do, we just have to say, okay, hey, where's our list of clients, that these guys that we know if we send the lead, they're going to buy that project from us if they get her sold, right?
Right.
And so
And
that's our goal.
And that's important, and that's
Yeah.
I wanted you to clarify that. I knew part of that answer, but it
Hmm.
goes into the next part of 2026. So Josh is spot on. We don't wanna sell to the homeowner. We want that to go to you, our listener. However, they do stumble across our website, we have a lot of people that monitor what we do. And, so here's something else for 2026. We're putting together a customer loyalty program, okay? Now, this isn't a how do I say it? We're not trying to handcuff any of our contractors, but we certainly want to build up our contractors who understand and value what Burroughs is offering and what we bring, right? We know we're going to make some errors. I don't think you can be a company and not. I think you have to be honest with yourself. You probably make errors in your jobs that you do, right? So, errors aside, loyalty is a big deal, right? You probably want us to be just as loyal to you as we are as we want you to be to us. And something that I want to give props to us on. I'm going to pat myself on the back and my team. Um, we've had people recently that were under contract with one of our contractors, and they wanted to go around their contractor and come to us directly to buy materials. We told them no, we're not doing that. Your relationship is with your contractor. I will not sell to you. Okay, we are loyal to you, our contractors. We do turn down business if we know for a fact that it competes with you. We will do
Mm-hmm.
that every day of the week. I have no desire to go around you. I have no desire to hurt your business in any way, shape, or form. We are loyal to you. Now, you could say, well, but you set up another contractor down the road from me. Maybe we did. I think that's going back to 25, 24, 23, 22. Yeah, I think there were times whenever we set up the wrong person in an area and we took an existing piece of pie and we just divided it into two pieces. I wasn't here for that. I don't know that Josh was here for that, but it happened. Hindsight being 2020. But we are loyal to you. We're asking for that same loyalty and we want to earn that loyalty. And so these leads that are coming in from end users, we fully intend to share those. Lead sharing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So lead comes
Lead
in and
sharing.
let's say it's in Fort Tatonka, Wyoming. I don't know if that's an actual city. Sounded cool though. Fort Tatonka, Wyoming. And we get a lead in. Well, what I'm going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is, do I have anyone in my customer loyalty program? We're going to announce more about that in the coming months. If you're in my customer loyalty program, you get first shot. Okay. If I don't have anyone in the customer loyalty program and I've maybe got 4 contractors in that area, say 100-mile radius, well, we're going to tell that lead that comes into us, an end user, hey, I've got 4 contractors in the area. Here's their numbers. Reach out to them. They'll take good care of you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Our goal is to get the money, the job in your hands. We want to work through you. We are not the builder. We are not the architects. We are not the engineers. You are. Those are the things you decide is needed for that job. So we are working on a customer loyalty program. It'll cycle
Yep.
through. We're also working on a board of advisors, right? This is something I've been pushing for pretty hard because look, we have to make a lot of decisions on a daily basis. And sometimes it would be really, really nice to pick up the phone and call a board of advisors and say, hey, look, one of our vendors is, kind of becoming a little hard to work with. You're one of our biggest buyers of this product from this vendor. I've got another vendor that has a shorter lead time. They're closer in proximity. I can maybe get things to you quicker if there's a mistake. Can you tell me, give me some feedback on that? Ask me some questions. Man, I would much rather make decisions if I know that you who buys from me had input in that decision than to just trying to look at data and just crunch data, right? Does that make sense, Josh?
Yeah, it does. And I love that you brought up the advisory, the panel advisors, whatever we end up calling it. But
Mhm.
bottom line is this: we make a lot of decisions day in and day out for on behalf of our customers, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
what products to carry, what the this, what that, and we do that based on assumption.
Yes.
We have historically, and we understand, and we understand that we've made some mistakes
Mhm.
and costly ones, because sometimes even a customer, it's a big enough mistake that they want to walk on us and go somewhere else because the other person will give them that. And we said
Yeah.
we won't give them that anymore.
Mhm.
We've
Mhm.
made decisions for this business. And, you know, we have to acknowledge that some of those have not been right. And as we're like, how do we get better? How do we
Yes.
communicate?
Mhm. Mhm.
What a better way is to run some of these ideas or thoughts for our business that, hey, look, we asked this panel of clients that we trust, um, like, we're thinking about doing this or this.
Mhm. Mhm.
What do you recommend? and,
Right.
and I think that would be, I'm just really excited about that one as well, Scott. So,
Yeah.
you have my full support to get that pushed through, and decide on a advisory board size and whatever. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm ready for that.
100%. Well, man, here we are again. We're already
No
at that
way.
20
Oh my God.
we're at that 25-minute point, right? Um,
Yeah, this could go on
so
forever.
yeah. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you one final word, and I'm gonna take one, and then we're gonna close this out. If you got something going, go
Well,
for it. If not,
I do. I've got a lot
okay.
going on. I still have a lot more fun things I can share for 2026. But here's the thing. Maybe it's too much to crowd into a couple podcasts. And I think we'll probably have to have some dedicated podcasts to some of these subjects
Yes. Yes.
for 2026 as we move forward. But I
Mhm.
think as a quick overview or feeling about how 2025 ended and 2026 started, I think we've covered a lot, and I'm happy with where we're at. And just, as we roll into the holiday season, I want to, really thank our clients
Yes.
for being there and supporting Burrows and being a part of our journey. And I really look forward to 26 and what that means to all of us. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I second that. Yeah. Thank you guys. This is I've just been here a little over a year, and I've learned a lot. I've really enjoyed getting to meet some of you, and we've got some great regular listeners that give great feedback, and that helps, right? I encourage all of you, for those who watch, I pop my email address up on here. Right now, we take a lot of shots at finger on the pulse, what's going on, but I'd love to hear what you'd like us to talk about. And hey, if we said something in part one or part two, and you're like, man, Scott, Josh, I'd really like for you to dive into that a little bit deeper, email me, man. I welcome that. Scott C at Burrows and then hyphen that little dash line supply.com, and let me know. And then, don't forget the Mark Eastman conference, January the 16th in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. I'm telling you, man, that is not something you want to miss. I can't promote it enough. Look, here's the thing. One, I wouldn't ask you to take a day out of your work week if I didn't think this was going to be of value, right? Number two is, yeah, it's a $249 registration fee. You're going to get that back in the form of a product credit as soon as you show up to the conference, right? The only reason we're charging for it is, hey, man, if I don't charge you and come Thursday, everything goes sideways and you're like, I'm just not going to show up, right? I got work to do. Well, if you got $249 on the line, you're probably going to find a way to get that little all things going to heck taken care of, right? So we're not trying to make a profit off of you through the conference. We're just trying to create some boundaries and some things in there to incentivize you to be there. But come to that. It's man,
Hmm. It's a good way to
it's
start the year. It's a
yeah,
good
it's a
way to
great way to
start the
start
year.
the year, guys,
Hmm.
and be communicative with me. So I'm gonna pop up my email address here, and if you have questions, if you have, hey, talk more about this. This is for you, right? It's a way for us to communicate with you what's happening at Burroughs. But man, this is a two-way street, guys. I welcome your feedback. Josh welcomes your feedback. Tell us what you like to hear about, what you want to hear about more. We'll take it. Hey, we'll even take criticism if it helps us be better. Happy to take it. So, guys, thank you for 2025. Thanks
Hmm.
for sticking with us. And it's been tough. It's been tough, but you know what?
Ready to
We
put it
learned a
behind
lot.
us.
Yeah. Yeah. It's behind us, right? And we learned a lot together,
Hmm.
and we can do a whole lot better together in 2026. Appreciate you guys.
Yep.
Peace out.
Thank you. Peace.